Hey, good morning, everybody. Doug here, Senior President of Proformance Unlimited. I feel like making a video this morning. I'm going to show you how I go about doing my valve adjustment on my Ford small block engines. I've pretty much been assembling engines for, I don't know, 50 some years. I've been working in a machine shop since I was about 13 years old. And I just feel like making this video today. I'm sure I'll get some people saying this, that, and whatever, but this is how I go about it, and I'm always going to go about doing it this way because it works. Okay, Junior, as I go about this, you got to come around here. What we're going to do is I adjusted my first two cylinders. This is a Ford small block. This is a 408 Windsor stroker. This is one cylinder on the Fords is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're going to go right around the line and adjust the valves. I run a 7/16 stud in all my engines. It gives me stability to my valve train. So when guys are revving motors, they ain't got a 3/8 stud in it. I like a 7/16 and I pay the extra money and do it because I don't receive 7/16 studs when I buy these heads. I got my guide plates. So well, we've all had problems. Well, some people do. When you put these adjustable guide plates on, and you're saying, how the hell do you get them to stay straight and all that? Well, I'm going to show you today how we go about doing it. And again, this is flawless for me and it's been working for many years. I have a whistle here that I put in my cylinders. Okay, so we're going to number 3 cylinder after I just got done adjusting 1 and 2. So right now we were on an exhaust stroke. You're going to get an exhaust stroke whistle. Now my intake is coming up. And that exhaust stroke, the intake stroke, just finishing whistling. I'm going to be ready to adjust those when I have these guide plates adjusted properly. This is how I go about adjusting the guide plates. I take a screwdriver and put it in between here. You can see they're beautifully straight. Take my torque wrench, put them on there. I'm just tightening them at the moment. Get them all down. And I like about 55 pounds when I'm adjusting these things. You don't have to show them the torque wrench, okay? It works for me, okay? And next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lube them up. Put a little oil, a little lube on these studs, push rods, valve tips. Put my rockers on and you're going to see they're going to come up beautifully straight. Next I'll take my poly lock, and again this has worked for me flawless for years, and I do this way with an hydraulic roller, flat cap it, mechanical roller, you have it. I roll my fingers on the push rod as I feel it tighten, that's it. Half turn. That sets it to about 30 thousandths. That half a turn preloads that lifter about 30 thousandths, and that is enough for any valve train. And here, the lifters I use in most of my engines, I have made just for us. I have a company that does them and actually puts a heavy duty spring in so I can rev these motors up, and I have no worries. It's a harder spring. He uses a tighter spring on them, and then I have no problem going 55, 6,000 RPM. You use a lot of them, say a stock lifter. Sometimes, you know, you start to rev them up, the lifter can't handle it, the spring in there, and it starts to chatter, and you wonder why, and that is why. So I'll push these down. Here we go again. It's always funny, it's 2 revolutions on these 2, the rest is always 1 or coming up. And it stops whistling. That cylinder is ready. So we're going to go again. Exactly how we go about doing this. And I'm telling you, this is an easy, flawless way. Again, I tell you, I over the years try to find things that work, make my day go by nice. Usually I have nice music in the background for me as I'm working. I can build these engines with my eyes closed. 1, 2, 3. I build them the same way every time. When I start with an engine in this room, It's oil galleys first, cam bearings, set the cam in, freeze plugs with the cam plug down going in. I have certain ways. I could go home and I can know if I skipped a beat, but I pretty much don't. Just doing it too long. I've had people come in want to watch. They want to watch me build their engine. I say, sure. You're gonna buy us all lunch? I don't care. I can bullshit with you, show you tricks, and just go along like it's nothing. Guys go, man, you just make it look too easy. It is easy. I mean, when you're doing it 50 some years, me and Steve have been developing with some engineers that Godzilla motor. We're one of the best Godzilla engine builders in the country. And I mean, telling you, we got some wild motors out there. So again, you know, you're looking for a great product. We use quality parts. I hand assemble each and every engine. 99% are built by me. Steve finishes them up. I will always build every single short block. Nobody touches my short block. I want to make every oil clearance the way I want them. If I have to open something up, close it up, what have you, I'm going to do it. I've never had a rod knock in my life, and I've got thousands and thousands of motors out there. Because I'll tell you what, I know how I assemble, cleanliness, and I use all the proper fluids that I want to use the way I assemble a motor. I just go about my day nice and simple. That's it on that one. That's the way that particular cylinder finishes up. And it's just a simple routine. That's it. Simple routine. But one thing about guys that are these young kids, you gotta find a routine and stick with it, start to finish. You can't change. And in this room, I have everything at my fingertips, no matter what I need. It's right here. You're gonna set up these guys could take a socket of mine and not return it, anything. I don't care what it is, and they know. You could even say, Quentin, am I correct? I know if something's missing in this room.
Immediately.
It's like, who touched this? And let's stop the game. Let's go find my, whatever it is that you touched. But they know where it is because, hey, I'm just one of these guys, and my wife says, I'm a nut. I like things so organized that, you know what? You put something and take it out of place. Why didn't you bring it back? You know, they know where it is. Bring it back. I don't care what screwdriver, how. I know if it's been touched and missing. It's just the way it is. But like I said, I just roll through this stuff. This is engine building to me is a hobby and it's fun and it is my job. I've been doing it for many, many years. I've worked in 2 shops and they damn well know that I was a big part of it. But that's how you do the valve train here. Very simple. That whistle works flawlessly, and again, it works for mechanical roller too. You get guys say, oh, you gotta turn it to this 1/2 revolution, to this 1/2 revolution. You know what I'm gonna say to all of you guys? Fuck you old bastards. You get with it. This is the way it's done. This is the simple way. We figured it all out. This is how it works. Like I said, I build 1,000 horsepower engines. I built 2,000 horsepower engines. Ain't nobody complained about my valve train being off. I don't care what kind of lash we got to put on it. We're going to put that same lash on, and it works. Some people just like to make things hard, and, you know, again, if you want to learn this trade, it is a great trade. And like I say, we are one of the badass Godzilla engine builders in this country. We got these guys sending us stuff to test. Doug, would you test this out for me? Absolutely. Hey, Doug, do something for me with this cam. Not a problem. Don't ever ask cam specs in my engine builds, though. I ain't giving them to you because whoever I deal with, and that's comp, they know they got a lot of my grinds are just for me for certain engines. And they make what I need them to make and perform the way I want. Like I said, hey, You could change numbers. You can lower compression with a camshaft. Not static, but you could change the overall efficiency the way the engine runs. Just by opening and closing an intake valve or an exhaust valve. Opening and closing. That's what it's all about. Yeah, very simple. We're almost done with this valve train. Make it look nice, make it look easy. And of course, you got to make sure you take the rocker and make sure you're on the flat spot of the rocker and not on the round part of the rocker. I don't tell you everything, but you know, you first time engine builders out there, I'm sure you'll learn the hard way doing things. And again, what's also is your rocker studs go into an intake port on this one. The exhaust port is solid, but the intake port is thick. You have to put sealant on it so you don't pull any oil down or lose vacuum on that cylinder. And there's been guys that haven't put sealant on it, and you're gonna have a problem eventually. And if you don't have a problem, well, hey, build one motor a year, you might get lucky. But you have to put a sealer on that. Same thing with the head bolts. All the head bolts go into water. You have to put sealer on them. And then, of course, torque them for appropriate torque. But I know I've seen so many motors guys put together, you know, why are these rockers all crooked? Because they don't know how to put the rocker plates, the guide plates on properly. But again, I call it a trick. I don't know if you want to call it a trick, but I've been doing it a long time. Sometimes I call myself the expert. I don't know if that's right either, but whatever. I figured a lot of things out in this industry. We're still doing it. We design stuff. We find rocker flaws on certain engines. We tell people, and they listen to us, and they sent us a few sets. You know, say, hey, here. I'm even doing another one right now, but I'm not gonna. It's a secret right now, but it pertains to my Godzilla. You know, when you see that there's a flaw in the engine itself, how can we make it better? That's the key. How can you make things better than it was? And that's what it's all about, especially when you're building performance. How can you make it better? And that's the fun part. Because we love making things better over here. Me and Steve have a blast redesigning and designing things. I think we're just going to stop right there and I'll adjust that. Quentin, thank you for doing the video. Hey, everybody. You can send your comments, what you like. Sometimes I answer them, sometimes I don't. But I'm a little Italian guy. I get a little cocky once in a while. But again, anybody want to challenge me? I don't speak well, but man, I know everything about this business. Start to finish, I've done it all. I've run every machine. I can do everything in this industry. I just make my life easy now. This is easy. I'm just building. But man, there was a time that I tell you what, I'd be boring blocks all day, line honing, rod reconditioning, you name it. I was doing it. Welding, cylinder heads, you got it. Whatever you needed done on this, I learned it right as an early young kid. Hey, thanks for watching the video once again. Hey, what do I always say? Peace and God bless. Happy motoring.